Hello, Stuart. I have a question. It's Paul.
Yes, Paul.
The last class you were talking about death, being afraid of life and afraid of death. And I was wondering if you could talk about preparing for that, because we all experience that, and when we're actually going through anxiety, worry, or different kinds of fear, how to deal with it while we're going through it.
Um, how do you prepare? First of all, how do you prepare for this? When look, this book I've just written starts out with all of this. When I was 16 years old, my father died. And he was very sick. He had about 106 fever for about 2 weeks running. He didn't recognize myself or my mother or my sister. And he was lying in bed just shivering, just he was completely out of it. And I remember walking into his hospital room just before he died, and he was lying in bed, and there was a sense of peace about him I had never seen in all my life. I was able to look into his eyes and look 100 million miles. The room was full of light. And for a minute got up. I had to leave. Maybe I had to go to the bathroom or something. And I bumped into his nurse, and she said something to me that I have remembered all my life. She said, to her experience, just before people pass on, they go into this state of complete serenity. I had never seen my father in 49 years, well, in the 16 years that I knew him, uh, ever enter a state of serenity. What that woman said to me, God bless her, she changed my life, so affected me deeply inside. I said, Stuart, you have to find somebody who can teach you and train you to build an inner life that is strong enough so that you can live with that state of serenity. 15, not 15 minutes before you pass out, pass on to another lifetime. And it stayed with me. And my whole search began. It took 9 years to find Rudy. I went to rabbis and to, swamis and to priests, and and I would ask them questions, and you know, and my ultimate question was, yes, with all of this, with the love, peace, and eat vegetables, and be a kind person, and live a happy, how do I get my mind to shut up? How do I get my sexual energy to stop being so rampant? How do I get my heart to open? I never got an answer until I met Rudy. But my need to find somebody like that was so strong that when he finally came into my life, and it was seemingly by accident, and I believe there are no accidents in the world. It
Sure.
wasn't an accident, it was supposed to be. But I said, Stuart, you've got to get the training. You've got to learn what this person has to teach you to build a system inside that's strong enough to recognize that the greatest unknown is not death, it's life. And we function here with a kind of timidity, or the only thing that enables people to function is the insanity of ego. Charisma, ego, I am the king, that Donald Trump bullshit. I am the king and I will rule. And this, enables people to somehow function in this unknown quantity called life. And mostly life scares the shit out of everybody because 95% of what we experience is unknown to us. We live in about 5% of reality. And I realized even at 16, I have to build a system in myself that is strong enough to no longer be afraid of living in this world. And as soon as that began to happen for me, the fear of death disappeared. I discovered that one was essential to the other. And as long as I'm afraid of living and afraid of opening to the totality of what life has to give me and experience it, I will be afraid of dying. And, I mean, and of course, it came down to a simple reality. I have to build a system in myself that enables me to do what I'm talking about. It doesn't just happen because somebody wakes up in the morning. It happens because they spend their time, their energy working on themselves in depth, whether it's the kind of work we practice or some other kind of inner work. It has to be done in order to build a system inside that, first of all, enables us not to be afraid of life, to understand the abundance, the richness, the wonderment that life has to offer us. And by doing that, we literally eliminate the fear of dying. And yes, one day we all have to leave the world. But why wait till 15 minutes before we go to have this sense of inner peace, this sense of higher energy, of spirit living inside us that enables us to open, embrace whatever life has to teach us. We're no longer intimidated. It is no longer an unknown. It's a friend. It's a teacher. And we're here to learn from it. These things, it's like a cosmic dance. They go together. And it's not only me and that nurse and that I mean, I realize every human being goes through this. And at some point, they have to get to a place where they are no longer intimidated by life. And it's not their ego that tells them this. It's that deep sense of gratitude, of peace inside, of love inside oneself that enables one to do what I'm talking about: compassion, kindness. And because it's lacking in somebody is not a problem. The lack of it is just telling you what you've got to do. Are you going to do it? Or are you going to spend your life being afraid of life and therefore being afraid of the unknown, the inevitable? And how
Mm.
all of these things work together in order to create a total human being, God's child on the earth. And how do we deal with our insecurity and our fear instead of getting, you know, stuck in it and letting it swamp? It's teaching us we have to get stronger. And instead of being angry and upset and depressed and unhappy, thank it. Say, hey, okay, you're teaching me I need to grow. I need to get stronger. I need to develop the highest levels of my humanity in order to deal with these things and not allow them to take over and destroy me as a person. Just that in itself is such a monumental step in one's growth that, I mean, and look, frankly, I believe every human being has to go through it eventually. People,
Interesting. The world is everything is unknown.
yeah, but Paul, you're a musician, you're a composer. All of the great music comes from the unknown. All of the great art comes from the unknown. I mean, even Bach, I've said it 100 times, he's dying, right? Why is everybody crying? Why is everybody lamenting? I'm just going to the place where the music comes from. All of creativity comes from the unknown, whether it's the unknown in life or it's the unknown on a metaphysical plane, you know? It's where it all comes from.
Hmm.
All beauty comes from the unknown. Truth. But how do we open and embrace that? We have to be big enough inside to embrace the truth about ourselves and the truth about the universe. We have to get that bigness inside, the openness, the ability to embrace the unknown instead of being intimidated by the unknown. So it's where everything that's noble and of a high level. You go into a museum like the Met or the Louvre or all of that art, it comes from the unknown. It comes from that place that Bach talked about.
Wouldn't you say that negative things also come from the unknown as well?
Mostly negative things come from the human mind, Paul, because the mind thinks in terms of polarity, of opposites. So if something good happens, something bad is going to happen. That's where the negativity, we create the negativity, not the truth, not the unknown. The unknown comes to us as energy. Our development inside is how that energy manifests in our life. So if we're constantly full of negativity, it's going to manifest as negativity. So we need to fix ourselves. That is like a covenant we have to have with God. We are here to learn how to fix ourselves so we can free ourselves of all that negativity. And once we get free of it, then God, the words become truth. The life becomes one of truth, becomes one of special beauty. You don't find, you're not intimidated by things that the madness that goes on in the world. It's just a teacher. And this is a hard thing to accept because here's where the work is involved. This is what I have these meditation classes 6 weeks, 6 times a week, so people can build that kind of system. That's why I do this. So I can continue to build that kind of system. Because I was sick and tired of all the negativity that existed inside me. Really sick and tired of it when I was younger. And I had to get free of it. I committed myself to the one form of meditation that I found in my life that enabled me to get free of Stewart. Shakti is pure energy, not positive or negative. It's pure energy. Becomes positive and negative when it gets inside somebody. The spirit of God gets it, and then it becomes my way, this way, that. Oh, I'm going to destroy this one, that one, all the negative, all the bullshit that goes on. It's a manifestation of people and how evolved they are. And if people change inside, then all of that changes. I hope that's clear. If it's not clear, honestly, I wrote a whole book about this. I really did. This is like the essential, the essence of what my book is about, what I'm talking about here today.
It's clear, it's just not easy to do.
Oh, nobody said it is, Paul. Nobody said it is. The hardest thing to do in the world is to master oneself, to just get your heart open. It's the hardest thing. You don't have to go any further than that to find truth and beauty in the world. And I must say, it scares the hell out of people. People would rather spin their way through life and finally confront the truth. They have to change inside. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you.
Huh?
So thank you.
You're welcome, Paul. Well, I think that was a session. Okay, if there are no more if there are no more questions, then thank you. God bless you for all for asking that question. And honestly, I need to listen to these answers also. It's not just you all. They help me in my life. So God bless you all and thank you for being here and being in my life. I think honestly, I have one question. Uh, I don't run a private club here. There need to be kind of a flow of new students. If you know people that are interested, I am very open to seeing new people come to sharing this kind of stuff with people who it might save somebody's life. So God bless you. And there'll be class on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Goodbye. Say goodbye.